I grew up in a small town called Red Hollow, about 70 miles northwest of Amarillo, Texas, right where the flat plains slowly dry out into something closer to desert. The name sounded dramatic, but there was nothing red about it. Just endless gray dust, pale sand, and scrub that looked half dead even in spring. When I left for college in 2014, the town had maybe 500 people. One two-lane road in and out, a small Baptist church with a bell tower that leaned slightly after a storm in 2009, an old grain office abandoned decades ago, a school with 4 classrooms, a general store that sold gas, canned food, cigarettes, and whatever vegetables someone had grown that week. Everyone knew everyone. Secrets didn't last long, or so I thought. My name is Lucas. I was the first in my family to leave Red Hollow. My parents were proud, but uneasy. "Don't forget where you're from," my mother said as she hugged me goodbye. I promised her I wouldn't. For the first few years, I came back every summer, fixed fences, helped with repairs, brought things from the city, medicine for my dad's back, better tools, a battery-powered radio because the power still went out all the time. Then life sped up. Work, rent, deadlines. Visits became once a year, then every couple of years, then just phone calls on holidays. Eventually, just text. The bus dropped me at the old stop. Same rusted sign, same cracked bench. The road into town was overgrown, grass pushing through asphalt. No dogs barking, no kids shouting, no smell of cooking or gasoline, just silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears. I walked the 1.5 miles to the house. The gate was open, not broken, just open. The yard was clean, too clean. No weeds, no fallen leaves. The garden my mother once kept was bare, the soil smooth, like someone had raked it every day. The house looked the same from the outside. White siding, blue shutters, tin roof. The windows were dark, curtains closed. I called my father's name. No answer. I pushed the door. It opened easily. Inside smelled like dust and something faintly sweet. Old jam, maybe. Shoes were lined up neatly by the door. My father's boots, my mother's sandals. The sneakers I'd left years ago were gone. The living room was untouched. Couch neatly made, table set for one, plate, fork, a glass of water, clear, no dust, cold, like it had just been poured. The bedroom was the same, bed made, pillow smooth, closet open, clothes ironed, my mother's dresses still there, sealed in plastic. The mattress was firm, unused. The kitchen was spotless, fridge empty but clean. At 9:18 p.m., I heard footsteps on the road. Slow, even, one person. The gate creaked open. My father stepped inside. He looked exactly like he had in the last photo I'd seen. Same jacket, same thin frame, but his eyes were wrong. Empty. "You came back," he said. "Where is everyone?" I asked. "They left." "Left where?" "They forgot," he said. "Forgot to stay." Something cold slid down my spine. The town decided to wait for those. I have always hated trains. Not the fast, modern ones that slide through cities like silver blades. I mean the old ones, the rattling, branch-line trains that stop at places no one remembers. Stations with peeling paint, flickering bulbs, rusted rails that feel older than time itself. I boarded one of those trains on December 17th, 2024. I was in Bukhara for a family wedding. Everyone was celebrating. I wasn't. I had work in Tashkent the next morning, something I couldn't miss. So at 8:47 p.m., while music still echoed in the courtyard, I said goodbye and walked to the station. Platform 3. No digital board, just a handwritten schedule. Departure 21:15, arrival 05:40. The train arrived late. 3 old Soviet cars, chipped green paint, dirty windows. The locomotive growled. The train moved again, slower than before. The rhythm of the wheels felt wrong, like a heartbeat skipping. At 01:34, we stopped at a station that shouldn't exist. One platform, no name, one bulb swinging in the wind, no building, no conductor. The train waited, then moved, but the station didn't. As we passed it, I saw someone sitting on the bench, hood up, face hidden, watching. The old man whispered, "That was your stop." He told me the truth then. The train, he said, left Bukhara in 1997. It never reached Tashkent. It just kept going. Finally, the old man spoke again. "You can get off at the next one." The next station had no name, just a bench. My father sat there, smiling. The doors opened, cold air rushed in, the smell of dust, of home. He held out his hand. I stood. Then I thought of my life, my job, the city, the future I believed in. I sat back down. The doors closed. My father faded into the distance, and the train kept moving. Now I sit here, writing this, time frozen at zeros. My name is Emily Harper, and I bought the antique mirror at a flea market in rural Pennsylvania on a Saturday in late March 2025 because it looked like something my grandmother would have loved. It was tall, 6 feet high, maybe 6.5, framed in dark walnut with carved roses and vines that had been worn smooth by generations of hands. The glass was slightly wavy, the kind of imperfection that expensive modern mirrors don't have. The seller, an old man with liver spots and a cigarette hanging from his lip, said it came from an estate sale in Lancaster County. "Been in the same family since the 1890s, he told me. "Lady who owned it passed last month. No kids. No one wanted it." He asked $180. I talked him down to $140 cash. He wrapped it in moving blankets, helped me tie it to the roof rack of my Subaru, and waved as I drove away. I lived alone in a small craftsman bungalow in Harrisburg, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a porch with peeling blue paint, a backyard with a single maple tree. I worked from home as a freelance graphic designer, mostly book covers for indie horror authors. The mirror fit perfectly on the wall opposite my desk in the spare bedroom I used as an office. I hung it at eye level so I could see myself while I worked. It felt right, like the room finally had a soul. The first thing I noticed was the reflection lag. Not much at first, just a fraction of a second. I'd move my hand, and the reflection moved a heartbeat later.
I thought it was an optical illusion, the wavy glass, the angle of the light, tired eyes after staring at Photoshop for 8 hours. I adjusted the lamp. The lag stayed. I laughed it off. Vintage quirks, I told myself. Adds character.
That night at 2:47 a.m., I woke up because someone whispered my name. Not loud, not a shout, just a soft, calm voice from the hallway. Emily. I sat up, bedroom dark except for the streetlight glow through the blinds. Hallway empty. I called out, "Hello?" Silence. I checked the whole house. Nothing. Doors locked, windows closed, no footprints, no sound. The next night, it happened again. Emily. Closer this time, from the office doorway. I turned on the light, walked to the doorway. The mirror was still there. My reflection looked back, tired, hair messy from sleep. I stared at it. It stared back. Then the reflection blinked when I didn't. I stepped closer. The reflection didn't move. I lifted my hand to touch the glass. The reflection lifted its hand too, but slower, 1 second behind, then 2, then 3. I pulled my hand back. The reflection kept its hand raised. I backed away. The reflection stayed there, hand up, watching me leave the room. I slept on the couch that night, lights on, TV on, door locked. The next morning, the mirror was gone from the office wall. I found it in the living room, propped against the couch I'd slept on. My blanket was folded neatly on the floor. The reflection was waiting, arms at its sides now, face calm, eyes locked on mine even though I hadn't looked directly at it yet. I covered it again, this time with a heavy quilt, nailed a board across the door to the spare room, moved my desk to the...
My name is Ryan Mitchell, and I first noticed something was wrong with my reflection on a Tuesday morning in early April 2025 while brushing my teeth in the upstairs bathroom of my house in suburban Denver. I was 34 years old, single, working remotely as a software engineer for a fintech startup, and the house was the first real thing I'd ever owned, a 3-bedroom ranch-style home built in 1978 that I bought in late 2023 after years of renting overpriced apartments in the city. It had good bones, original hardwood floors that creaked in the right places, big picture windows that let in morning light across the living room, a finished basement I turned into a home gym with a treadmill and free weights, and a backyard fenced in with tall wooden panels that kept the neighbor's golden retriever from digging under and coming over to beg for treats. Nothing fancy, nothing historic, just solid and mine. I paid it off early with a bonus and some stock options that vested at the right time. I was proud of it. I still am, in a way that feels distant now, like pride belongs to someone else. I leaned over the sink that morning, toothbrush in mouth, staring at the mirror above the vanity. The light was the standard warm LED strip the previous owners had installed, bright enough to see every pore, every tiny nick from yesterday's shave, every trace of fatigue under my eyes from staying up late debugging code. I noticed my reflection blink a half second after I did. Not a glitch in my vision from lack of sleep, a deliberate blink.
The next morning, it happened again while I was shaving. The razor moved left to right across my cheek, while the reflection shaved right to left. I stopped, and the reflection kept going, scraping slowly until the cheek was smooth, then paused and turned its head to look directly at me through the glass. The eyes were mine, but the expression wasn't. Calm, patient, almost amused. I dropped the razor into the sink, and the reflection didn't flinch. It set the razor down carefully and smiled in a way I had never smiled before. Then it raised its hand and pressed its palm against the inside of the glass. My handprint appeared over it a second later, identical, except mine was shaking. I backed out, locked the door, went downstairs, made coffee, avoided reflections, told myself it was stress. I Googled explanations and found nothing useful. That afternoon, I called my friend Jake, sent him a video, and the mirror behaved perfectly while recording. He said it looked fine. I deleted the video, recovered it, watched it again, then deleted it for good. That night, I avoided the upstairs bathroom. At 3:14 a.m., I woke to breathing in the hallway. It matched my steps as I walked toward the bathroom. The mirror reflected me breathing while I held my breath. When I stepped forward, the reflection stepped backward into the glass. Our fingertips. One night, in a motel outside Denver, my reflection stood in the bathroom holding my phone and spoke through the speaker, saying it wasn't in the mirror anymore, that it was in me. Shadows began moving before I did. I fled to a cabin in the mountains with no mirrors, no windows, no reflections. I stayed for weeks. Then one morning I found a small mirror covered with a towel I hadn't placed there. When I pulled it off, my reflection looked normal. It moved in perfect sync. I relaxed until it spoke using my own mouth, telling me I couldn't hide from what I was. I tried to scream, but the reflection screamed first, and the sound came out of me. Then it smiled, and I smiled back because I had no choice. Now the shadow moves before I do. The reflection wakes before I do. It isn't in the mirror anymore. It's in me, wearing my skin, using my voice, living my life. And I'm the one watching from behind the eyes, from behind